Joe D'Amico, Port Discovery. Thanks, Jim. Anyways, real quick, I want to touch base on the tidelands. I heard that conversation last week too. I believe it was George Yon. The tidelands are actually, depending on where you live, are owned by the property owner in front of where the tidelands lie. So, and I know this because there's a lot of shellfish businesses around, and so the area that you would not own is if you were actually standing in the water. And I know that from a legal standpoint because I've done a lot of security patrols, and if someone's walking on the beach, they're trespassing if it's private property. If you're standing in the water and you walk along the water and stay in the water, you're not trespassing. So that's to clarify that. That's been my experience. I wanted to comment. I had an interesting call this week from Philip Morley. I don't know where Philip is today. Maybe he's on vacation, but he called me up and basically said that the county was going to hire an outside consultant to review the gun range application. And I want to make it clear that I don't have anything against the gun range. In fact, I support the gun range. I believe we need to have multiple gun ranges. But Philip had said that he hired a consultant to review an application for them to expand. And I want to remind you guys that, you know, for the last 5 years, you've been beating me up pretty hard about expanding my gun range. And like I said, I support the gun range, but I've never heard of an actual permit being reviewed outside of DCD by a consultant. Philip told me that basically they were doing that because of, they thought there might be a conflict of interest because the county owned the property. And they were hiring Eric Tays, I believe is his name. So I'm going to mirror, just for your information, whatever the gun club does, because they're a legal non-conforming use, just like security services. And I'm going to want that same treatment. And I'm going to want an outside review by Eric Tays as well. So anyways, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else this morning?